Hello, physical science students. I'm making this video so that I can explain to you how it is that I graded the lava lamp experiment. If you're watching this video and you haven't turned in the lava lamp experiment, it's too late to turn it in for full credit. You actually have a 0 right now, but if you turn it in, I'll at least give you half credit. 50% is not as insurmountable as a 0. But you do need to get into the habit of getting things turned in by Friday. All assignments that I assign at the beginning of the week are due on Friday. Let me show you this document. So this is what I gave to you. Some of you guys, when you sent it back to me, it was awesome. You just had it in the same format. You put section 1 research, and then instead of my question, you just wrote your answer. That was the easiest way for me to read it. These are the answers that I was looking for. Number 1, this first section, section 1, was worth a total of 3 points. 1 for telling me that effervescent meant that it bubbled. Number 2, the density of water is somewhere near 1 gram per milliliter. Some of you guys had different units. You had kilograms per cubic meter or whatever, but anyways, we know that it's 1. And then the third one is the oil, whatever oil you used, it's somewhere less than 1, 0.95 to 0.97 is about what it is. You just had to look it up. Section 2, this was worth a total of 6, 10, 11, 12, 14 points. Number 1, you got 3 points if you identified that first there was a compound present when you put in just the water. When you dissolved the dye in it, that made it a solution. And then when the whole thing was in there, the oil could have been considered another solution probably. But the whole thing was a mixture. So I was looking for compound of water, solution of the colored water, and a mixture for the whole bottle for 3 points. Number 2 was also worth 3 points. There were 3 phases present. There was a liquid, obviously. The oil was a liquid, the water was a liquid. There was a solid when you put the tablet in there. Originally it was a solid, so solid was present at 1 point. Also, if you used granular drink mix to color the water, that could have been considered a solid. And then when the tablet started to react with the water, we had a gas that was released and rose to the top. So 3 points for number 2, identifying the solid, the liquid, and the gas. Number 3, why did the water and oil separate so distinctly? Because they had different densities. Number 4, why did the tablet sink so quickly? It sunk so quickly because it had a vastly different density than all of the things that it passed through. 1 point apiece there. Number 5, rank the densities of substances in the bottle after you put the tablet in. Hint, there are 4 substances present. Okay, so when you put the water in, and even after you dyed it, the most dense that was in the bottle at that time was the dyed water. The oil then. So then you put the tablet in, it sunk, that became the most dense of all, and then the gas bubbles that were given off, which was CO2 by the way, rose to the top. So from densest to least dense was the tablet, the colored water, the oil, then the gas that rose to the top. 4 points for that one. Number 6, what do you think was rising up in the bottle of the tablet, from the tablet? I was hoping you could guess CO2, but you guys said bubbles gas. I gave you a point for that. What was sinking back down? It was actually little tiny pieces of the tablet that had been carried up by the bubbles, and then when the bubbles escaped, the tablet fell back down. But as long as you gave it a good shot, if you watched closely, something was being carried up. And if you gave it a good guess, I gave you a point for that. So that entire section, again, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 points. Section 3, the write-up, I read through some of these. I read through all of these. It was worth 5 points. If you gave me a good rendition of what happened, I know what happened because I tried the experiment. Some of you were very descriptive. Some of you were very concise. But you basically, if you wrote something up, I gave you 5 points. Section 4, you got a point for telling me the independent variable. Some people changed the amount of water, the amount of oil, didn't really matter. What's your hypothesis? What did you think would happen? Did you think putting more tablet would make it go faster, changing what you dyed the water with, whatever. I just wanted to see that you were thinking about what changes could happen by changes you made. What constants did you have to control, just depending on what you changed, but you guys did a good job with that. Dependent variable is whatever you thought was going to happen. And then I gave you 4 points if you wrote a good paragraph as to how it changed. So I hope this helps explain the score that you got. The scores should be in here by the time you see this video. And again, if you haven't turned it in, you can still turn it in for partial credit. But if you want full credit and want me to grade it and give you feedback, you have to get it in on time. Thank you guys for all of you that have stepped up. This has been difficult for all of us, but I think we're getting along just fine. Go Panthers.